Good morning and welcome to At Home in Advent. I'm Pam Coles, and today we come to the last of our reflections on travelling and how different modes of transport can help us consider ourselves and fellow travellers on the journey of life. I last travelled by train up and down to London, and I also went on the tube with my grandson. And he seemed somewhat agitated because I turned round and spoke to the passenger sitting next to me. And later he said, "Grandma never talked to anyone on the tube unless you already know them." Seemingly, that was an unwritten protocol. Perish the thought that we'd actually speak to fellow travellers. But the same young man, on boarding the Leeds train, presumably remembered his Yorkshire roots and talks to whoever, and has even been known to share the gospel with them. Yet many travellers enter their own individual bubble when they get on a train, and they attach themselves to some modern technology. Could be headphones, or the laptop, or perhaps a mobile phone, where they have a one-sided conversation that the rest of us are obliged to hear. So much for protocol. And yet, we all move forward, together, on the same track, a sort of community on wheels. But for some, the journey will come to an end before the rest of the passengers. A sobering thought as we've likened this journey to the journey of life, and we're in the middle of a pandemic. And we're all on that journey, and it's one way, no return tickets. In our Bible reading from St. Mark, chapter 13, verses 32 and 33, Jesus talks not about the end of our lives, but about his second coming. And that's in accordance with a timetable which only God knows about. In verse 32, it says, "But about that day or hour, no one knows, not even the angels, nor the Son, only the Father. Be on guard, be alert." It's a little bit like those things that Boris Johnson's had hanging down from his lectern at the news conferences. Be on guard, be alert. You do not know when that time will come. He likens it in verse 34 to a householder who leaves his house and gives his servants assigned tasks and tells them to be alert, because when he comes back, he doesn't want to find them asleep. We may be alert as we face the COVID emergency, but how seriously do we take the possible imminent arrival of Jesus in glory? In the past, many years ago, I remember a group sold everything up because they thought they knew the timetable, and they went and stood on top of a mountain, and after a time came back rather shamefacedly. But you know, before we scoff, can we say with conviction, "Maranatha, come Lord Jesus," some of the last words in the New Testament? Or will we be found sleeping on the job? Let's be aware of our fellow travellers in life, this Advent season and in this COVID pandemic, by talking to each other, encouraging each other, bearing one another's burdens, and sharing the gospel that leads to everlasting life at the end of the journey. Thank you.